Welcome to a new episode of the Sportingverse,
The house of all sports.
So we're here, finally Super Bowl week. So
Let's
we're
go,
super
baby.
excited. What we were waiting for so long, like after 5-6 months, something like that, of great football, it's coming to an end. It's coming to a great end. Probably a story that's gonna tell us a lot, right? And it's gonna leave us a lot of great stories that we're gonna have to follow, right? But like after that,
Yeah.
but we're in the preview part, right? So we're gonna talk about the game. We're gonna talk about what's coming on next Sunday. A lot of interesting news as well in the NBA world. We have
Trade deadline coming soon, yeah.
Yes, some exciting news. Trade deadline, and we have plenty of topics to cover.
All of the updates.
Some other exciting topics in the universe of sports. So let's get into it. But first, don't forget to subscribe if you like the content, if you like
Hit
what
it.
we do. We enjoy talking
it.
about sports, so go for it. Click on the like button, and of course subscribe and hit the bell as well for
all the notifications.
all the
Go
notifications.
for it.
Go for it. And my man, great week ahead,
Oh
right?
my God, it's the most exciting week of the year. Obviously, when we talk about football, this is the time of the year we all want to be part of, either as witness, and obviously not to mention what it will be like for the players that are participating on this game.
They're in Las Vegas. So
for some of them, it's gonna be the most important game of their career.
yes.
And lives potentially. So yeah, it's obviously an exciting week. The expectation builds up every day that passes by.
Super high.
You get a little anxious in a good way, I guess, because of what's coming. Again, this is where history is written and legacies are built.
Exactly. We all wish we could be in Las Vegas right now. We just won.
Yeah. I checked the flights. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't tell you about this, but I was checking the flights and just to-
I'm not
know.
not that worried about the flights, but about the accommodation.
no,
super
for real.
expensive.
Yeah, no. And what
Super
I then thought about it was like, nah, hell no, I'm not flying to Las Vegas. I'm flying somewhere else, like Arizona, like somewhere else, and then
Yeah.
driving from
You
there
can
or something.
drive.
Because yeah, it's gonna be pretty packed. Obviously, prices are all over the place, and it's pretty expensive.
Yeah, and it's a game that it's breaking records in terms of tickets as well. They're super expensive. So
Yeah.
if you want to go, just prepare your wallet. But of course,
If you manage to still get a ticket at this point, which is probably already an impossible task.
yes, and if it's possible, you'll have to pay around I don't know
Just
5K
give me your heart
or more.
already, okay? Like your something, like
Your
I don't
kidney
know.
or
your
something,
head,
yeah.
your brain. I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
maybe your-
exactly. So yeah, I mean it's in Las Vegas as well. It's
Yeah.
a great city.
It's perfect. It's a perfect narrative.
It's a perfect narrative, and we have great stories building up. We have the Chiefs coming to the game as underdogs again.
Chiefs. Come on, I
And Patrick
told you.
Mahomes pursuing his third Super
Super
Bowl
Bowl.
ring, and this is his fourth journey
Time,
to
yeah.
the Super Bowl as well. And on the other hand, we have a great story. We have Brock Purdy and the Niners, of course, an amazing team, a super team built for these type of moments, actually. And we have Brock Purdy, the Mr. Nobody,
Mr.
right?
Game Manager.
Nobody wanted him in the draft. He's here just in his second year.
Second year,
And
the
being-
first full year as a starter, which is again,
Exactly.
pretty impressive.
In being one of the third youngest quarterback to reach
In
the
the
Super
history,
Bowl
yeah.
in history. So definitely great stories. In whatever happens, it's gonna be amazing at the end. We
Yeah,
all know that.
for
So
sure.
we're gonna have a lot to talk about that. But in the meantime, we're gonna focus on what's coming. So yeah, we're gonna have to talk about two amazing teams, right? We have to talk about who has more to win here. We have Mahomes. We have the Chiefs, again, the underdogs. We have the Niners, a super team, and we have again Brock Purdy. So, who do you think has more to win on Sunday?
That that's a pretty interesting question because, like you said, you can see it from different perspectives. So you can see it as a unit. As a unit, you can talk about the teams themselves, who's gonna win more, what's gonna mean for them. But I think we must focus on the individual stories here because I think that's where you get the most upside if you're some of these players. And I would like to focus on potentially two names, maybe three, I guess. So from the Chiefs side, I think obviously Mahomes is gonna win a lot if he gets this ring because of what we have been talking in the past few weeks. All of the legacy aspect, all of the GOAT conversation. Where is he located at right now against all of the greatest quarterbacks and players of this game? And so obviously adding a ring to that repertoire is gonna be. I mean, it's gonna push him even further away. For some of us, he's already a top maybe 5 quarterback all time. You can see it from the talent perspective, maybe not from the winning just yet, obviously. And so that's why it becomes a really important journey for Mahomes and a very, very interesting story. Also from the Chiefs side, what can that mean for Andy Reid and his coaching career and how close maybe he can get to Bill Belichick and, winning another ring is going to add to that. Obviously, he's still pretty far away in regards of winning again. But, from a coaching perspective, his story, his ability to develop others. I mean, we have seen so many coaches that come from history. So, again, that could be really important, really nice for him and his legacy. And obviously elevate him to potentially, a top maybe 3 coach of all time if he wins one more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's from the Chiefs side, and then if we see it from the Niners perspective, obviously there's just one name that is just gonna get it all, and it's Purdy, right? Like
Yeah.
we all know that for all the doubts, for all the criticism, for everything that many people try to bring this guy down for whatever reason. Normally, it's curious because normally we love the underdog kind of like Cinderella story, and with Brock Purdy for some reason. It's the only Cinderella story that, quote unquote, Cinderella story that is not clicking with everybody, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little bit unfair sometimes, I think. So I guess it's interesting because the narrative is he has the most to win, and at the same time he has the most to lose, right? Because
It's kind of ironic.
and so that's where I'm coming from when I say that I think Brock Purdy ultimately is the person who has the most to win here. Because if he doesn't win, and especially if it's because of him that they don't win it, that's devastating for his career and his aspirations in the near future. Because again, they're gonna start questioning if they want to keep him or not. So everything is gonna fall apart potentially if they lose because of him. So since he has the most to lose, I think that automatically makes him the person who has the most to win,
Yeah.
right? So I think for me, it's gonna be Brock Purdy.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm aligned to that. However, for me, it's more about the Niners. So I was thinking about this and who has more to win, right? Because of course we know Purdy has a lot as well to lose, but as a team, the Niners, in this is my train of thought. Like I'm thinking about I'm thinking of how the Niners will face this if they lose. Because it's a team that was built for these moments that the team has tried to get the Super Bowl so many times in the recent years, like around 3-4 years, right, in a row that they've been there on top. They're the super team. They're the team to beat, right, in the NFL. And they have 0 Super Bowls in this era, let's say. So for me, they have a lot to lose, and if they don't make it, against these Chiefs, and when I say against these Chiefs, this is probably one of the greatest dynasties we've seen in recent years in terms of football. So if you're able to win against these Chiefs, and you already lost Super Bowl against them, right? A couple of years ago. So if you're able to win this game, I think this is going to be a good moment for them to kind of lift their performance in general, right? And all that they represent, and bring it again next year and in the years to come. So if they're able to do it, I think they're gonna be able also to build, I hope as well, kind of like a dynasty or that team that can go against the Chiefs and actually win, right? Because I don't think the Chiefs right now has, or they don't have that team that it's able to or that it's capable to do to that. So I'm hoping that that this is a time for them to step up and demonstrate that they're a team that it's able to go a step further and win the Super Bowl, right? So for me, it's about the Niners. If they don't, I think it's gonna talk about a lot about them and the type of team or the type of leadership that they are missing. The type of course, is gonna fall a lot under Purdy's shoulders as well,
Yeah.
and but also under McCaffrey's shoulders, under so many names they have,
Yeah, even
right?
the coaches,
Defensively
again,
as
yeah.
well, the coaches. I think they have a lot to lose because they're a super team and they are expected to win, and that's for me it.
Yeah.
Right? The Chiefs, they're coming as underdogs, but the Chiefs have demonstrated that they're able to win. They have won two in the last 3-4 years, I guess. They're here again. So for me, they're already a dynasty, and definitely they're a great team with great talent. So for me, it's about the Niners. They're
Yeah.
all in
it's,
here.
It's gonna be interesting because again, if they lose, the Niners, I mean, they're gonna have to make some decisions because again,
Yeah.
it's not easy, it's not cheap to keep this score together. We're talking
No.
about five at least major stars of the league and what that means for your payroll. And if you're not winning, it becomes kind of similar, I guess, to certain degree to what we see on Dallas, where they're just paying all this talent and they're just not getting any rings out of them. And so that's obviously something that as an owner you don't want to go through. And I think if they lose, like you're saying, a lot of moves will probably have to happen so that they can try to pursue this again next year. But yeah, a lot of heads are gonna be potentially at risk. I would say.
Exactly. Because this is not a team that it's built for the
Yeah, for
NFC
waiting and
championship game or
just being patient is not an option here.
Exactly. It's not, and they're aging as well, and your career in the NFL is short.
Yeah,
So
they
either
need
you
to
take
win now.
advantage of the talent that you have, or you lose trying.
Yeah.
That's it.
Especially because of like what you said, right? This is supposed to be the most vulnerable Chiefs team, at
As
least in the
well,
past few
yeah.
years, which quite interestingly is it doesn't look like it because they're playing very well. But yeah,
No, the
it's
postseason Chiefs. I mean, we can talk about it, but this is a different team, and the defense. We've talked about it as
Oh,
well,
yeah.
and
That
the
defense is special,
offense, wide receivers, tight ends not dropping the balls, right? Like everything we criticized a couple of weeks ago, or
because I
maybe
and I
some
told you
weeks ago.
this in one of our first episodes. I can recall that I told you it seems and it feels, and I always felt like that this Chiefs team was built for this time of the year more than it was for the regular season. And we're seeing that. We're seeing that they are here. They're experienced. Most of their players have been here. Were here last year. So we understand that a lot of these guys know what it takes to win these games. And that's what we're seeing, right? The Chiefs are not making mistakes. They are forcing mistakes on the opposite side. And that's because they know how to do it. That's because they know how to play this type of games, and I bet it's gonna be the same for the Super Bowl. And I think that's gonna be a major thing for them and a key factor for them to win.
And that's why it's going to deliver such a great game, right? On Sunday, we're gonna have a great game. So yeah, and in terms of teams, now that we're talking about it, which team do you think comes with more confidence? With which team is the more confident right now entering the Super Bowl week?
That's an interesting thing, and it's curious because of some of the things you're hearing from the Niners camp. Ever since they arrived to Vegas, we're hearing them complaining about the training facility or the training fields. I don't know what's wrong with them, but it seems like they're not liking them. Like, I mean, all of that kind of tells you that isn't that weird? Like you're already bringing up the negative
Negativity.
stuff
Yeah.
that might be impacting, quote unquote, or potentially might impact your performance. And so if you're a confident team, none of that matters, right? Like it doesn't matter if you are considered the favorites. It doesn't matter if you're training outside, indoors, at the high school or whatever. Like they put you to train. Like your mentality has to be all focused on winning, right? And hearing players on their side already complaining about this stuff is like that tells me something, right? Not to mention that obviously the performance when we compare both of these teams, obviously in the playoffs, right? We can clearly say that the Chiefs have played the better football. They have had the better games. They have faced potentially tougher teams. We can say, at least defensively speaking, they faced the number one defense on the Ravens in the last game. We saw what they did to that defense, at least in the first half. They played the Bills defense, which was a top, I think, 5 or top 3 defense. Obviously, with all the injuries and everything, we can argue that it was not the same. But it's still, one of those defenses that were supposed to be really good. They managed to beat them. I mean, they faced the Dolphins. Like the journey for the Chiefs, for me, indicates that they should be the team with more confidence right now, more confidence, because not only that, but they also add the experience factor to it. So again, and I saw it on even on the media day just a couple days ago when they were interviewing Pat Mahomes and next to Brock Purdy. Like you see Mahomes, they're getting booed by the fans because it seems like there's obviously more Niners fans around. Kelsey, like they want to hear all those boos. They don't care about that. They know what it takes. They know how to play this type of games, like I mentioned before. So I think that the Chiefs, based on their performance, the teams that they have faced, the fact that they haven't really make any mistakes or anything like that, that indicates that they should be shaky about themselves. Quite the opposite. Some of these players are playing their best football of the year, like Kelsey. We see Pacheco balling. Like all of these guys, the defense is just, I mean, the defense has allowed, I think it's close to 13 points throughout the entire playoffs, under 13 points. That's remarkable, right? For this time of the year where we see other games going 34, 31, like, the Detroit game against the Niners. So if you see the opposite side, it feels like the Niners are not playing their more confident game right now, right? Like they're having struggles to stop the other teams, especially the run. Again, they're getting a lot of points scored first by the Packers and a rookie quarterback in the playoffs at least, and then Jared Goff, which it's a good quarterback, but it's not that, right?
It's not elite.
And they are dropping a lot of points on this defense, and so it seems like their defense is not even playing their best right now. It's a little shaky again. We have Purdy with a lot of pressure, so a lot of those factors make me think that it's the Chiefs that are more confident and should be the more confident team.
Yes, I agree with you. They've been playing better as well during postseason. You already said it. I don't think the Niners are playing as they are supposed to be playing at this point of the season. Couple of factors that could or that maybe affected the team during this time. That the bye week, the fact that they didn't or some of the players didn't play on week 18. And also now we have another let's say, bye week for them. Well, for both teams, but it's like you're not that regular during the postseason. You played 2 games. They were tough games for the Niners, tougher than they were supposed to be. And then you have another bye week, and it can be either good or bad. But like, if you're not that consistent at this point of the year, it can play against you, right? And you said it, some negativity that I feel they're attracting as well. Are related to the training camps and everything. And I don't know if they're going to be that loose when they start the game. Of course, there is no team that starts playing loose in a Super Bowl, right? Because it's difficult. The starting point is very very tough. But I think they're carrying that out since a couple of weeks ago, and it's going to be more difficult for them to enter the game and start playing at the level that we want them to play, that we're expecting them to play. So those factors are, I think, they're going to affect, of course, including the fact that they are the team with most pressure overall as a team, as a defense as well, because of the names that they have and
who they're facing again.
Who they're facing,
And when you have Pat Mahomes in front of you, that's a different type of pressure.
Exactly, and Brock Purdy as well. Brock Purdy has a lot of pressure on him. He will have that tough pressure, difficult pressure to handle, and he's going to face a great defense as well. And this defense has faced, as you said it, the Ravens, the Bills, the Dolphins. We're talking about great teams during the regular season. So yeah, for me, it's the same. I'm taking the Niners here, right? They're playing with more pressure, and definitely they're the ones that has less confidence, and the Chiefs definitely they come from a different place, from a different perspective. So yeah, great stuff. We're gonna have on Sunday. It's a different story, right? What happens after the first kick?
Kickoff is
I mean, it's gonna be
that
different. And whatever we talk about here, it's gonna be forgotten, and
all that matters
gonna
is the process that you put into this past 2 weeks and all the entire year. I mean, if you come locked in, if you played your best football possible, if you put the most energy, like those things are what you can control as a player, I guess, as a coach. Again, I've never played a Super Bowl myself, but seeing it from the outside, again, you can think about those things being the key elements. And whoever comes in more focused, again, with more energy, more aggressive, more confident, all these things, mentally speaking, are what I think make the difference. And yeah, I guess we're going to see a great game.
We're going to see a great game, for sure. And what are you expecting in terms of predictions? Tell me. You start with this one.
Come on, man. You already know what I'm expecting. You guys already know what I'm expecting.
We all know. What he is going to say. But in terms of score, at least, give us a surprise.
I ain't giving you no surprise because I know, and I'm confident.
Just the score. I know who you're picking.
I'm confident that the Chiefs are gonna win this. So I'm picking the Chiefs on my prediction. In regards of scoring, I think it's gonna be a little bit. I don't expect it to be like a crazy high scoring game, but it's gonna be a little bit higher score than at least the AFC Championship against the Ravens, because of what I mentioned before, right? The Niners defense doesn't seem to be as locked in as the Ravens defense was. And even though we faced that challenge, the past game against the Ravens, 17 points was a pretty decent half against that team. So they locked in the second half, couldn't score anything, but I think it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm taking the Chiefs to win 31-24.
Well, it's still high scoring game
Yeah, it kind of
for a
a
Super Bowl.
kind of a high
It's
scoring
kind of high.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, trusting a lot Mahomes and the offense, but also on the defense to produce some points for us potentially, or at least turnovers, because we have seen what this defense like. I mean, they stopped Lamar Jackson
Yes.
and they stopped pretty well Josh Allen as well. So now they're facing Brock Purdy. Okay, like let's think about that for a second. It's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy. So obviously you're going against. We can probably all argue and agree potentially that Brock Purdy is the least from those three, right? Like it. He's obviously Lamar is better. Josh Allen is better. Although they haven't won anything,
Yeah.
as individual talents, obviously they are better quarterbacks. So again, I'm trusting the defense again to stop this offense. McCaffrey is going to be tough to stop, but that's every game. So it wouldn't be a surprise if he has a great one. But I think some things that I wanted to throw apart from just the score prediction that I think will happen. I think Pacheco is going to have a great game. I think it's going to be 100 plus yards for him, rushing yards. I'm talking. I think Mahomes is not going to get sacked this game. We saw it with the Ravens; he got sacked twice. I think that's just not going to happen this time. Although they have Bosa, they have Chase Young,
Yeah.
they have a great
I'm
pass.
thinking about Bosa.
They have a great passing rush on the 49ers side. But I think Mahomes is going to be able to scramble and is going to be able to figure out a way of not getting sacked. So 0 sacks is going to be a key element for this game. And then the other thing, I think, again, the defense or even Purdy himself is going to force a turnover, at least one. So I think if those three things happen, the Chiefs are going to win this game. If one of those doesn't happen, maybe we see the Niners come and get it. But
Interesting. Yes, I have. This one was very, very hard for me, to be honest. I like underdogs. That's the thing. And
so you like Kansas?
yes, exactly.
There you
And
go.
I'm thinking about that. But also,
Why didn't you like underdogs last week when they were facing
no,
the
I
Ravens?
always like them. I always like them. But like sometimes you need to.
Sometimes you need to hit your head against the same wall twice to
Yeah.
make sense of
But
yourself.
I'm also thinking about Brock Purdy and how he's an underdog right now as well. So I'm betting on that on Brock Purdy
This guy doesn't
doing
learn his
something
lesson.
like Eli Manning did against Tom Brady a couple of times, because it's kind of similar story. Eli Manning, he was underestimated so many times. He didn't have the best career, but in terms of playoffs, in terms of how you bring that competitive spirit in these type of games, he was in a different level. He was great. And facing Tom Brady, I mean, come on, like we're talking about major
The
words.
guy would have 9 rings if it's not because of Eli
Exactly.
Manning. Oh my god!
Exactly. So I'm betting on Brock Purdy to bring also that spirit that differentiates that differentiation factor, let's say. So I'm betting on the Niners 2017.
You go lowest scoring game then.
Yes, low scoring game. I mean, the Niners, of course, is not the same defense as the Ravens, but they have still a great defense. They're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on Mahomes. In the Russian game, I'm also curious about that. I don't know if Pacheco is going to be able to run for 100 plus
I think he will. bro. And
yards, but he will for sure have a great game, but I'm not quite sure about 100 yards or more. But yeah, we'll see on
And
that.
I'll give you this just before we wrap it up, and this is off schedule, but in regards of Super Bowl MVPs, my dark horse for Super Bowl MVP is actually Pacheco. So
Okay.
we all know that if the Chiefs win, 99% almost for sure that Mahomes is going to be the MVP, right? Because he has carried the team all the way here. He's
Yeah, yeah.
always the one who makes the play. So we understand that that's probably what's going to happen. But I think that if Pacheco matches my prediction, and if it's a tie game kind of situation, and
Couple of touchdowns.
right, right, I think Pacheco could be
Could be.
an underdog in that regard of potentially being a Super Bowl MVP, and it will be a beautiful story as well. Obviously, I would like to see Mahomes win his back-to-back MVP because that hasn't happened. Super Bowl MVP. I mean, that hasn't happened since the 70s, I think, or 80s. I can't remember. Terry Bradshaw, I think, was the last.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been a while since a back-to-back Super Bowl MVP. So it will be also a nice story. But yeah, I think Pacheco is going to have that kind of game.
Okay.
I trust the guy. I
Good,
saw
good.
his media
Yeah,
day. He was so locked in, like you could see it on his face. He was just prepared for this.
It's a good one. It's a good prediction. I like it.
Who do you
I would
think
like
wins the Super Bowl MVP?
if the Niners win, as I'm predicting to happen, right? I think it's going to be Brock Purdy's, or
For
Brock
real?
Purdy is going to be the MVP.
Don't you think
But
it's
if
gonna
not,
be McCaffrey?
if
The
not,
for me, the
no,
default
for
selection
me,
is
for
gonna be
me,
McCaffrey.
it could be Devo Samuel as well. But yes, I mean McCaffrey is the one to go. Like it's the easier one because he's top talent on this team, right? In terms of offense. But I would like to see Devo Samuel as well.
Yeah, he's a
Like,
tremendous player. Yeah. He's a
exactly,
difference
making
maker
some
for sure.
great plays, and maybe it would be a good one. But I think if this ends well for the Niners, and the media and everyone appreciates Brock Purdy, then we might see him winning the MVP award as
Yeah,
well.
turning point of his career for sure. If he wins and if he gets the Super Bowl MVP, I mean, for Brock Purdy, it's gonna be a turning point.
It's gonna be different next year. We're,
And
we're gonna see an amazing
Nobody
player.
should be able to doubt the guy anymore. Even if he doesn't win ever again, like at
Yeah,
least
yeah.
he proved everybody wrong in regards of being here right now and win it. So
Exactly.
exciting!
yeah, that's
exciting.
about-
It's
that's about the Super Bowl.
weekend, man. Come on,
Super Bowl
Let's
week
go, man.
again.
Let's get it. Let's get it, Chiefs. Come on.
It's gonna be amazing, and yeah, I know Dylan's betting for the Chiefs and
Let's go, bro. I've been
Yeah.
right the entire year about this
Patrick
team.
Mahomes, and
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I know, but again betting for the Niners, so hopefully they can get it. I mean, these are not my teams, so I'm okay with
Bro, you need to
which,
enjoy whatever
whichever
joy
whichever
any
team
other
wins.
team has because we all know that your team is not getting to the Super Bowl
Anytime
in
soon.
the next
I know.
like 10 or 50 or maybe 100 years or something.
I know. Still, that's what makes me enjoy these
From
a
a
lot
partial
as well.
standpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
for
very
real.
impartial. I like both teams. I know I haven't,
Being wise and smart
Yeah,
about the
I've
Chiefs. Yeah.
you
And then this is the type of
selected the
human that
Chiefs,
doesn't
but-
learn. You see, like he can fall 3 times against the same rock. He will continue to fall and trip on the same rock every time.
at some point they're gonna lose. So I'm confident on that. But well, yeah, that's about the Super Bowl. We'll see you on Monday for sure. Talking a lot
Subscribe
about what
to the
happened.
channel because we're gonna bring all the action and all the reviews, and we're gonna discuss how the result went on the Super Bowl next week, early next week on Monday, most likely, maybe Tuesday. We'll see when we drop
We'll
in the
see,
next
yeah.
episode. But certainly subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Click the notification bell because that's when you're gonna know
Go
that
for it.
we're dropping the new episode, anyways.
Exactly. So in terms of football, I think that's it for today. We're gonna wrap it up here, but we have some other amazing news happening in the universe of sports. We have the NBA, the trade deadline. We were
Coming, yeah.
talking about that, right? It's coming to, it's very close. It's actually
tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
yes. So we have that trade deadline, and we have great teams playing at a great level. We've seen the Clippers, the Celtics making some moves as well. We have the Lakers who have been playing great the last 3 games. They're facing
Yeah.
Denver tomorrow as well. So what can we expect for the NBA?
I mean, what
Coming
can we
days.
not expect from the NBA? This is the time of the year where it starts getting really interesting. We know that the trade deadline normally propels some teams to make a deep run, depending on the moves they make. And for some others, it's maybe like in a philosophical way, the end of the season, because
Yeah.
some of the teams will start trading players away and they're just going to wait for the draft or something like that. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the Lakers first, because you mentioned that they have been playing very good, if not great, the past couple of games on the road. 3 games that were pretty impressive. The Celtics, just a few days ago, they beat the Celtics without AD and without LeBron.
In
Tell me in what
in
universe
Boston.
we
Yes.
ever thought that was going to happen. When we entered that road trip, I was like, I think it's a total of 5 games if I remember correctly. So after Denver, I think they still have one more to go on the road. And I said, damn it, bro, we're gonna lose at least 4 of the next 5 games. Because
Yes.
I only thought they were gonna beat Charlotte,
know.
to be honest, from
know.
all the teams they were gonna face on this road trip. And little did I know that they were gonna beat the Celtics in the way they did it. Then they went to New York and beat the Knicks,
The Knicks.
which are also on fire, and they are clearly a playoff team, and they are clearly making a statement that they could make a deep run in the playoffs this year. And then they ended up beating the Hornets a couple of nights ago. So 3 pretty impressive games. D'Angelo Russell, ever since the trade rumors started surfacing,
the guy
just started balling, bro. Like he was
Yeah.
like, hell no, I'm not getting traded again. And he just started playing as we all expect him to play, because since he came to the league, we all knew that he had great talent. He just hasn't been consistent enough to make it to that star level that we thought he could be. So, but he is now playing the star level. He's becoming that third guy that the Lakers need. And if he can remain consistent throughout the second half of the season, the Lakers could turn things around. I think this is going to be a turning point, especially if somehow they manage to beat Denver tomorrow.
and then New
I mean,
Orleans.
and then New Orleans, but even if they lose to New Orleans, 4 out of 5 on the road against those teams that we just said, it's still going to be very good for the moment that
It's a
they
good
were
statement for the team.
having, right? Because again, they were just falling down the cliff the past month and a half, and now they've proven that they are the same team that won the in-season tournament not that long ago. They still have that same
They have
core.
the talent.
They could
know
make
how
they
to
could make
play.
it to the playoffs if they just continue to play this way. But it's interesting. We talked about it the other day. This team seems to need some sort of extra ingredient for them to come and play hard every night. So when it's national TV against the Celtics, all of a sudden they're playing great. National TV against the Knicks, all of a sudden it's Madison Square Garden. Everybody doubts you. Again, you're having a terrible moment. There is rumors about LeBron James potentially asking for a trade because of how the things are going. He's coming to the end of his contract. Like, there has to be some sort of something for them to come and play hard.
They need that fuel.
Right.
It feels that they need the fuel
right.
to play the way they
And
are
so
supposed to play.
we should, Lakers fans, we should make a commitment of just creating some sort of false account and just build some sort of narrative for them to get motivated every game. Like, wouldn't that be a good idea? Because it seems like that works, and that's what clicks. And then Anthony Davis starts playing hard. He doesn't get injured. LeBron always plays hard and plays great. But then all of a sudden, again, Austin Reeves plays good against the Celtics. And then D'Angelo Russell. Again, we need some sort of something. And if we get that every game, I think we can win it all. But that's the problem. We don't get any rumors or any type of thing that gets them hyped before all the games. So that's part of the problem. But anyways, we'll see what happens with the Lakers. It seems like there is not going to be major moves for them. Maybe they will add 1 or 2 players, but nothing crazy in the trading deadline coming for them, because if anything, there is not great names available anyways. So
Exactly. That's
at least
that's
not
the
difference
point.
makers like that you're going to say, well, if we bring this guy, we certainly become a contender. So I think they're just going to try to fill out some of the other spaces, maybe get some better defenders, some shooters, something like that that they can get on these final hours of the trade deadline. And from there, they're gonna stick to the court. And if things doesn't work, I guess the offseason is gonna be a different story. They're just gonna try to rebuild or something. But anyways, that's the Lakers. And then we had the Clippers. You mentioned it. They're the first seed right now on the West, which is obviously a pretty impressive
Yes.
task every year because you have Denver. We had the Timberwolves playing really well this year. But what do we think about them? Do you
Oklahoma, we have as
Oh
well.
yeah, OKC's balling as well. SGA, yeah, they have great talent. They're young. Oklahoma is a team to watch for the future. Maybe
Yeah.
even for now. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows, right? But yeah, but like predictions say that maybe for the future, right? They're gonna be a hard team to, difficult team.
Yeah,
to
they're
beat.
gonna be there
Yeah.
every year probably. But the Clippers.
But the Clippers,
Do you think they're ready to win something this year? I hope no. I hope they fall on their faces, bro.
Yes.
Oh my
I
God.
always hope that for the Clippers. I'm a Lakers fan, as you already know. So yeah, I'm hoping for that. But and I mean the Clippers are the Clippers. It's difficult to no, it's not difficult. It's easy to predict them, but as well, I believe they have a better core. They're full of talent.
Yeah.
They have a better core. It seems that they are like kind of like merging in a good way as
Yep.
a team. It gives you the feeling that they want this badly and that they want to prove everyone that the Clippers can win a championship, at least get to the finals. So it feels different in that sense. The environment, what they're building, Harden, also coming to the team this season, trying to prove himself as well.
Yeah.
Because it's been hard for him
In a
the
tough
last
start for
2
them.
3 years. It was a tough
I
start.
think it was 0-5. They started the season, and they have won. I think it's 25 of the last 30 games.
Exactly. So of course this is a team that feels different, but still they are the Clippers. And it's the name and what you're carrying out.
And it's the players
from
more than
the
anything.
last-
So it's the
Exactly.
franchise that we know. Obviously, has always been trying to transcend and get to that championship level. But it's also the names, right? Because we have seen the recent story with these players and the injuries. I think
In the
it's,
different teams they've
obviously it's
been.
always the factor, right? Like Kawhi
There are
Leonard,
always problems.
Paul George getting injured every single year, and this year they're healthy. And hopefully, I'm a Lakers fan myself. I don't want them to succeed. I don't want them to get injured. But again, it is just that
That's the fan
asterisk,
spirit,
right?
yeah.
It's just that asterisk that if they can stay healthy, they can certainly win this year.
Yeah, I think if they stay healthy and if they physically and mentally, because for me that's about the Clippers. It's the mental part and how you deal with it and how you treat it, right? Because
Yeah.
you will have to deal with a lot of pressure, with a lot of doubts, with nobody believing that you can do it, more than part of your fans, right? Because it's like if you talk to a Clippers fan, it's
Even they will
it's even
potentially doubt,
difficult for
yeah.
them to believe that they are going for the long run, right? That they are going
Yeah,
to
yeah.
win it all. So I think it's difficult for the Clippers, but if they stay focused and if they're locked in, if they continue playing as a team and they stay healthy, physically and mentally, they might be able to win it this year. They might be able at least to get to the finals.
Yeah.
Though this is a team with the type of talent that they have that is not built to get to the finals, right? Like adding Harden to the roster, it's not because you're thinking about the finals. You're thinking about like you're thinking in the trophy that you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's not only
That's it.
getting there, it's win it at all. And
Exactly.
the only thing that I will add before we move into the next one is the one thing I feel like these Clippers will struggle, even if they stay healthy, is Jokic is the teams with the big guys because they don't
Yeah.
have any way of stopping this guy. Like I'm just trying to think how they're gonna manage to deal with Jokic in a Western Conference Finals, for instance. Not to mention if we go to the Timberwolves, they have Cat
guys, yeah.
and they have Gobert normally playing together. So how are they gonna deal with that? And even if we go to the Eastern side of things, if we see Philadelphia, for instance, getting into the finals, like how do you deal with Embiid? You don't have a way of stopping the guy
Yeah.
from dropping 60 every night against you. Like you can have Paul George, you can have Kawhi. They're not big enough to stop this guy. And if you double, triple team the guy,
Somebody's
somebody's gonna
else
knock
will,
the shot.
yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting thing and dynamic to see the
And
Clippers
even
dealing
more
with
in
those
a
type of teams.
in a 7-win in a
Seven series
7
game,
series
yeah.
game.
Yeah, for sure. Because adjustment happened, they'll figure out, and I think that's the biggest problem. So and we're not hearing anything about them adding big guys.
yeah.
And if they add a big guy again, it's not gonna be a name that is gonna be like, oh, that guy is gonna stop Jokic. Like
Exactly.
who can stop the guy? Nobody. But anyways, I just mentioned Embiid. That's another unfortunate topic we need to go over because he got injured. And he's gonna be out for 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
We'll see how Philly survives without Embiid because I think it's 3.
They're
and
losing today against the Warriors badly as well.
yeah, that was supposed to be a great game, and well, without Embiid again.
127 against 1-4. It's already over.
Yeah, imagine.
So
And again, it's
23
tough for them
points.
to stay put when Embiid is out. I think it's 3-11 or something, if I remember correctly. When he's out, so it's not easy for them. Obviously, we understand what he brings to the table. So we'll see what happens with them. And the other unfortunate part about that is whether or not he's going to end up being eligible for the MVP award because of how
Looks
many
like
games.
he's not.
Yeah.
Looks like he's not.
How
going
many
to.
games he can potentially miss. And yeah, it's been a lot of debate going on around whether that policy is fair or not. But we got to this point because of a reason, because of guys just being lazy and missing games without actual injuries.
Justification.
And I think it was fair for the league to try put this. Obviously, when we see these type of things happen, Halliburton getting injured and he potentially missing some bonuses because of the All-Star thing. Like those things are unfortunate because those are real injuries. But I think
it's the background that precedes
yeah,
you. You
I
know?
think we can continue to calibrate if you're the league. Like you learn from this type of instances and try to find certain exceptions or add some tweaks to it. But again, it's just they're asking the players to play 80%. I think of the game, 79%. I think
something like that. Yeah.
they can miss all the way to like 17 games. I think it is. So it's not that hard. Like you just have to show up and try to stay healthy. Again, when it's unfortunate, it's unfortunate. But again, it's just too many years of seeing players missing games for lame reasons.
That's the problem. But I still think that I mean, every rule must have exceptions as well. And I think this is one of those rules. If it's proven, if you create a mechanism to make sure that you can prove the injury, right, and that the player is not just missing the game because they want to, then I think it's possible. I think it's possible to add some exceptions and have a rule that actually benefits the league and benefits the good players, the ones that actually want to play and be there and opt for the prices and opt for the bonuses that they have and all those things. So I think it's about thinking of those exceptions of
it's finding
how
the
to
balance.
balance it out.
Yeah, right. But anyways, that's a little bit of the action on NBA. We are gonna go through a quick round of our buzzer beaters because there is more sports to talk about. Well, actually, some of these are part of NBA action as well. But anyways, you get the point. There is other stuff going around the worlds of sports and the universe. And this is the Sporting Birds, the house of all sports. So we're gonna cover some of them. Why don't you start with your
So exciting news
Formula
happening.
Yeah.
Yes, exciting news. Something very, very exciting. As you know, we're about to start the Formula One season. It started in March 2nd, actually in Bahrain. And we saw, like, we are in that month in which teams are unveiling their cars, right? Like everything that they're going to bring to the season. We are also like 15 days away from the testing part as well, the practice, right? The moment of the season in which they're going to test the cars. That's going to be the first look we're going to have. And then a week after, we're going to have the Bahrain Grand Prix. But everything was, it was like an earthquake happening on Thursday, on last Thursday. We got the news that Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion, 6-time world champion with Mercedes, will move to Ferrari next year. Not even this year. This movement will happen next year. This is something that it's huge for the sport. We were not expecting it. Lewis Hamilton, he's around 38, 39 years old already. So his career is coming to an end. Of course, I know he's thinking, we all know he's thinking of surpassing Schumacher, right? And winning the number 8, that nobody has ever done it. And of course, he wants to go to a competitive team. In my train of thought here is that he might know something that we don't know in terms of what Mercedes can deliver for him in terms of the performance of the car, the performance of the team itself. And he might want to explore a different option in Ferrari. And as everyone, or as one great pilot once said, everyone states that they're not a Ferrari fan, but everyone deep down is a Ferrari fan. So it looks like it's happening for Hamilton as well. And we'll see how that story ends up. This is going to be an exciting year for Formula One. Of course, we have Red Bull taking all the flashes in terms of performance, in terms of winning it all again. But we have Ferrari coming, we have Mercedes coming, we have McLaren coming, and these specific transition that Hamilton is going to have during this year, it's going to add a lot of spice to the season. A lot of interesting things will happen for sure, and we'll see we have a great season ahead. So for all those Ferrari fans, and congrats, of course, and for all those Formula One fans, let's see. Let's how is it?
Expect a great season coming.
Let's expect a great season. Yeah,
it's interesting. I'm obviously not into the Formula One award just yet. I need to again learn. We talk about it.
Sealed our belts. That's what I wanted to say.
My God. Like it took like 3 hours to remember what the phrase was. Yeah, but pardon the delay. Okay, but yeah, I saw the news and I was like, I'm curious as to what this means. You know, like I know Ferrari is a great brand, and I like you just said it's like playing for the Lakers. It's like playing for the Yankees. It's like, even though you might not be thinking about it when you're on other teams or anything, like it's kind of a little dream of every athlete in their sports when they just jump into that and they know that there are brands and franchises that are just different, right?
Exactly.
And I guess Ferrari is one of those, and Hamilton is in the GOAT conversation. We were talking about this off cameras. The one thing that kind of struck my mind like crazy is like, why doing that just 1 year before you finish your relationship
contract,
with, like, why not wait until the end of the season? What if he wins this year? Like, if he gets the 8th, is there a need to go to Ferrari at that point? Like, he could have maybe retired at that point after this year, just potentially being actually the GOAT now. So
agree. But again, he might know something that we don't know in terms of car performance. That's for real. What I'm thinking.
No, yeah, I give you that, but it's still like, imagine if, I don't know, if it's like if LeBron would have done the transition to Miami or announced that like a year before he actually did it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like
It's
normally
weird.
these
It's
athletes
weird.
wait until the relationship is fully over, the contract or whatever. I don't know if they handle it through contracts there as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But they normally wait, or at least when they are like 2 or 3 months out, like you start hearing the rumors or something like that. But here it was like totally unexpected, and I'm just like, I'm
Yeah,
still here.
it was too long before the end of
Yeah, and
the
I think it's gonna be interesting
contract.
because again, maybe people will question if Hamilton is committed or not this year. But I guess we'll see what that, how that goes, and if he wins again, nobody's gonna be able to tell anything against the guy. But if he doesn't, then maybe people will start saying, "Oh, you announced this,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you didn't try."
This is
You know
gonna
what I
bring
mean?
a lot of sparks to
Yeah,
to,
but
to the
anyways,
season,
let's keep on moving here with a quick rapid fire of the final things we have to mention for today's episode. NFL game in Brazil. That's gonna be a first time. We have the Eagles and the Panthers.
gonna be nice.
On a game that is gonna be hosted in Sao Paulo, if I remember correctly.
NFL expanding to America,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Which is
interesting.
great.
Yeah, it's
great.
interesting. Obviously, it's probably tough for these teams fans because again, you're losing an opportunity to watch your
Watch
team,
your team.
on a home game, and I think it was supposed to be an Eagles home game. So Philadelphia is losing one game this year at home, but it's obviously great for the rest of the world. It's great for the rest of the fans. Because again, I mean, if you're in Brazil, if you're in Sao Paulo, who would have thought that you were going to be able to attend an NFL game? Like, unless you travel obviously to the US. So that's interesting. We'll see how that goes. We have seen the games in Europe in the past couple of seasons, so it's been an interesting dynamic going on and building the brand of the NFL
Outside
across
of
the board. Yep.
US. Sorry.
Then on other news, let's move back for a minute to NBA action and NBA updates of the results of the teams and everything. We have a pretty interesting announcement of what's about to happen in the NBA All-Star Weekend, where you're gonna have a first time ever contest.
This is gonna be nice.
Damn
This
it,
is gonna
bro!
be
Like when I
nice.
saw that announcement, I was like, "Yes, bro, we needed something like this. Like,
Yeah,
shake
something
things
different,
we have seen
something
what
fresh.
happens with All Stars. We just saw the
Yes.
Pro Bowl. We didn't even talk about the Pro Bowl today because that's how boring.
It's not worth it because it's
You see,
super
like-
boring. That's interesting only for Hawaii people.
Yeah, actually, when it was in Hawaii, 'cause
When it was in Hawaii, yeah.
which by the way I think was a mistake. Like it should have stayed in Hawaii. I don't know why they moved it to Florida, but anyways,
Exactly.
the NBA on the other side is trying to figure things out to make the All Star interesting again. Because again, we've seen the NBA dunk contest kind of lose traction. The game itself, it becomes irrelevant because everybody's just dunking and loving and whatever. Nobody's guarding anybody. But they're trying to add some certain ingredients. And this year, we have the first time ever 3-point contest between NBA, I guess we can say NBA against WNBA.
WNBA.
So we have two of the greatest shooters to ever
all
lived
time.
and walked this planet.
Yeah.
The greatest, for sure, on Steph. And potentially the second greatest building up in Sabrina UNESCO. They're going to face each other on a 3-point
That's gonna be nice.
contest.
That's gonna be nice.
Sabrina holds the record for 3-point contests with 37 points. So that tells you she has more points in a 3-point contest than Steph himself. That tells you everything you need to know about her ability to shoot the basket. It's just beautiful to watch, and it's gonna be great to see this because again, if it works, if the people likes it, I guess they're gonna continue bringing these type of initiatives, and it's gonna be great for the game of
I
basketball.
think this is great for the NBA, like to explore these type
Yep.
of things. Like it's going to be fresh. I know fans will love it. So
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
very
And
exciting.
it's interesting because she came out after or I think it was a little. I can't remember if it was a little before or after the announcement, but she said she was gonna be shooting from the NBA line as well. So
Nice.
that's a difference of I think it's like close to 2 feet of difference because NBA is 23.9 and WNBA is 22.1. So I mean, it's pretty remarkable that she's stepping up and saying, I don't care, brother. Like, give me
Yeah,
the
I'm
NBA
up-
range. I
I'm up
have
for the
it.
challenge.
Okay. Like, I can still knock it down from there. So we'll see what happens with that. It's going to be exciting. We are close to the NBA All-Star Weekend, I mean. So it's going to be an interesting story. Then also on NBA updates related to the Lakers and related to our beloved Kobe Bryant, rest in peace.
Greatest competitor that has ever
Yeah,
lived.
yeah. Again, it depending on the day you
Yes.
ask me, I said this before, and I will continue to say, depending on the day you ask me, he's the goat. Okay, but we got news about his statue being it's about to be unveiled, supposedly tomorrow
Tomorrow, yes.
on February 8th, 24. So Gigi's name,
Gigi's name,
two,
Kobe's
and then
name,
Kobe 8 and 24. So
Kobe's
it's
number.
yeah, it's a pretty smart decision, obviously because of how that could attach to the date, and it's unfortunate. I gotta admit it because when they announced that they were gonna obviously build the Kobe statue and were gonna bring it in the near future, I was like, bro, I gotta be there. And then this guy comes in today and tells me, hey, did you see the news that they're gonna unveil the Kobe Bryant statue? And I was like, what?
We got the news a bit late. That's the problem. Because
I
I
should
would have
be in LA.
I would have
The hell
been
you
there
mean?
as well.
And it's weird because the Lakers are not even there.
Yeah,
Like,
they're not playing. They're not playing tomorrow.
It's kind of weird,
in
but
Staples,
it's
but-
great to see that it's happening, and I just hope it's a great statue. I'll one day just go there and obviously take
I
a
think
picture
they
of it
look
at
more
least.
for like what the number represents, what the day represents
yeah,
in
yeah.
terms of
but-
numbers, right? And
You said it before and off camera as well. It could have very well been on the Kobe Day on August, which again,
yeah, I
could have
guess
been-
they wanted to take advantage of the two as well and remember Gigi
Yeah,
because Gigi was an important part of not just for of course Kobe and his family, but even for the organization
Yeah.
because
100%.
Kobe
Yeah, Kobe
brought her,
built.
right? Like
Yeah,
in
Kobe
its-
built the city. The Kobe built the brand. Obviously, we know what Magic and Kareem's and
yeah.
Shaq, like all the great stars that have gone there. But even them will probably admit that Kobe Bryant ended up building the Lakers to what they end up becoming and what they are today. So yeah, that's about to happen. We'll be watching that and paying attention, and we're gonna cover in the next episode as well as how it went and how the statue looks. Because again, I'm looking forward to see that fadeaway, kind of like buying the jersey type of statue, something that is just gonna be so
something
Kobe.
amazing. Yeah, something Kobe.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, I know.
And then the last one.
Finally,
Go for it.
something related to soccer, right? Some exciting news.
Soccer, football.
Soccer,
like,
football.
What was
how-
supposed to be the name?
Yeah, exactly. But let's call it soccer. Let's call it football. It sounds better for me. But you can let us know. You know, you can always drop your comments and let us know. But the World Cup in 2026, as you know, it's going to be hosted in Mexico, in the US, and in Canada.
Yep.
And FIFA has just revealed that the cities that will host kind of like the most important games will be Mexico City and the Azteca venue, right? The Azteca Stadium. Because they are
Azteca.
El Estadio Azteca, that's going to be the opener. They will host the opener, the open game, right? The one that opens the World Cup, which is going to be amazing. This is going to be the third time in the history that this stadium opens World Cup.
That stadium
which
is a monster, bro.
Exactly.
It's so big, like crazy big.
Like around 1,100 people, I think.
100,000.
100,000.
You cannot even count anymore.
100,000.
You should
Sorry.
go back to school, man.
Yes,
on.
100,000. And also we will have the third place, the game for the third place hosted in Miami in the Hard Rock, and finally we will have the World Cup final of 2026 hosted in New York, more precisely in New Jersey, in the MetLife Stadium, which is going to be also great. New York, right? New Jersey, New York, kind of close, the capital of the world, right? So it's going to be a great final. I think this is going to be one of the greatest World Cups we'll ever seen. And we will see this as the first World Cup with 48 teams facing each other during a month,
It's gonna
month
be a
and
battle.
something. It's gonna be great. But we're still like
It's early.
Almost-
it's early.
yeah,
we're
2 years
we're
away
gonna have
from that.
like,
But it's
in
interesting.
like 150 more episodes. We'll be there, but yeah,
We'll be there. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. But it's great to see that I mean, the format, I think it's gonna work. You know, like distributed between the three countries is gonna make it obviously more marketable. It's gonna drive more fans because we all know that. I mean, not everybody can go to Canada. Not everybody can go to the U.S. I mean, not everybody can go to Mexico. So, or traveling between these countries. And again, it's gonna be interesting that you
And
at
we all
least
know
have locations to choose from.
exactly.
And again, it's gonna be a really great World Cup because of the
It's gonna
amount of
be
teams,
a
because of the
whole
amount of
party.
competition, and we hope that this format works moving forward.
Yes, yeah, hopefully, and we all know what football means to America, right? And in general to, or more precisely to Latin America. So having the possibility to host the World Cup so close
Yeah.
to these amazing crowds. This is going to be
Yeah,
one
it's
of the
gonna get
greatest
wild.
for sure. Yeah.
Get ready, because it's gonna get wild. But yeah, I think that's about it for today.
That's about it. Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
it wasn't already like a lot
Enough.
that we cover. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a lot of information. Again, it's Super Bowl weekend coming, and
But as you saw, many other things happening as well.
yeah, a
and-
lot
and
of
more things
updates.
to come.
We always said, like every time we blink, there is something going on in the world of sports and the universe of sports, and this is why we created this. This is why we're doing this, because we love talking about sports. So if you don't want to miss any of the upcoming episodes, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
Right. Yeah,
Follow us on our
subscribe.
socials, do all that good stuff, because we're gonna keep on bringing great content, great information, all the updates, and keep debating. And he's gonna continue losing on his bets. I can already, I can bet on
want to
that.
see.
you
I
know.
want to see your predictions as well in the comments. Like, if do you support me? Do you support a Chiefs fan again?
Bring it on.
Let us know.
brother.
Let us know. Yeah, subscribe, and go share as well.
Yeah.
If you
Engage,
like it.
engage. We love this, and obviously we are building a community here. So if you want to be part of it, this is the early journey. Don't tell you we didn't ask you. Don't tell you we didn't invite you to be part of this, because we are telling you right here. Join us on this
Yes.
great trip that we're having. So,
And well,
my guy,
my
been
guy,
a pleasure.
Long wait.
It's
Long
been a
wait
pleasure.
until Sunday.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a great one. You already know what it is. Until then, peace out, guys.